Well, I think it was 4 years ago we were last on here together. Yeah,
No,
4 years
it
ago.
wasn't.
Yeah, it was for 2021,
Oh,
post-lockdown.
that makes me feel a bit queasy.
Under the name of Manavia, I'm sure you'll remember.
I can't believe it was that long ago.
I know.
Oh dear.
It's
Is Manavia still going?
No,
not at all.
No, not anymore.
Oh.
But that was the first time we came on here.
Yeah.
Sort of dipped in and out of the music scene, I guess is the best way to say it, and probably just from my bedroom after that.
It just shows we were playing rock music. Now we're approaching 30. It's like slow acoustic songs. So.
We were just chatting in the background about the sort of music that you're both into, and all of them were very grown up.
Yeah, very mature now.
Very grown up. But I've got to say, Dylan, good shout. Townes Van Sant doesn't get mentioned very much. We were talking about Townes Van Sant, which, that sort of era of stuff, and the background with the whole Flying Burrito Brothers and Graham Parsons and things like that. So, and then John Martin got a shout out. We're going to play some John Martin in a minute. But everyone we talked about, awesome songwriters, which is essentially what you're promoting now on the Isle of Man. 100%. So how did Tunesmiths come about, and what actually is it?
Well, so basically, we were playing open mics, both of us together, weren't we? Playing our own songs, and we kind of both wanted to make the step into, gigging. And rather than people approaching us to play, we thought, why don't we put our own thing on? And, spoke to a few venues, and we thought we'd give the Working Men's Institute a shout, and they're absolutely brilliant. So, what we were aiming to do is kind of just, give people a platform to play the original music, with a respectful crowd is one of the main things. Mainly acoustic, because it's a good way to connect with the listeners, and respectful crowd has been brilliant.
Well, I think that's the thing, isn't it, Matty? Because respectful crowd is quite an important thing. Because, in Manavia, when you guys were out doing your thing with the other bands that you were with as well, you wanted noisy crowds, and you wanted them to be kind of really leaning in.
We've completely flipped the coin on that now.
Yeah.
So, we have everyone seated, which we think works really well, because the Institute have big round tables, candlelit. It's just really nice vibe. Is probably the best word. Romantic, yeah. So if you want to go on a date, come to Tunesmiths. That is it. It's just so everyone's quiet and actually takes in, because it does take a lot, especially if it's someone's, say, first gig, which we have had at Tunesmith. We've luckily had that privilege. It's a big thing for people to get up on stage and play their own stuff to people. Yeah. So it's nice to have people actually taking it in, up clapping, feedback. It's really, really good.
They have been as well, though. The crowd, we haven't had to police anything. Like anyone talks and they get politely shushed by other people, but we can't fault the crowd. Absolutely brilliant.
And that's amazing, because I'm guessing you have a mix of ages as well there. So, you think maybe some of the kind of younger crowd who might have been the ones, throwing each other over heads and things at Manavia gigs, you think they might be actually just kind of a bit excitable and maybe make noise, but everyone is pretty much adhering to that, are they? The quiet,
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Didn't even have to ask people, that's it. People just respectful.
Other people in the crowd are actually, if it does get a little bit rowdy, the rest of the crowd's just sort of like, shh.
That's so good.
So we don't have to do it, which is nice, because we were worried about that.
I can imagine. And the Institute works well for that as well, doesn't it? It's that kind of venue where I think it just sort of, you feel a bit respectful anyway when you go in, don't you?
They just love what they do there as well, so... Yeah,
really good sound system.
Said, the sound is always
amazing.
Spot on.
Very reasonably priced too. So.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what? They have been doing an incredible job ever since they revamped that place, and it's a wonderful space. So big shout out to Laxey Institute. They do an excellent job over here. And as I said, you've had 2 gigs already. You've got another one coming up. We'll talk about that shortly. But each gig, I'm guessing, has had different artists play.
Yep.
And what sort of stuff has been played then? What sort of music have you been hearing?
So it's like we say, it's mainly acoustic, but we have had an array of sound already. So we've had 2 gigs. The first one, me and Dylan did a set each, just like because we've set it up. We fancied doing the first ones. We've had from like folky. What would you? How do you explain that?
Yeah, we've had lots of obviously folk and acoustic stuff, but people have been bringing their electric guitars and all their pedals on and stuff as well. So.
Which can work so well in a really kind of when you've got lovely tone coming through.
Because we're not against full bands, but we want to keep it on a personal level.
Yeah.
it's not too complicated on the sound front there, like so.
Well, we're going to hear each of you play something over the course of the next sort of like half hour, 40 minutes or so, which I'm really looking forward to. But we mentioned John Martin. I'm going to play a song now. You said as well, Dylan, that actually the guys at the Working Men's really like John Martin as well. How did you first hear about John Martin?
I don't know if I can really say it on the radio.
Oh, now I really want to know.
No, just obviously probably recommendations from friends, I guess. Yeah, but absolutely amazing fella. So,
yeah, incredible playing, just a really distinctive voice and beautiful songwriting. Well, it's always wonderful to play John Martin, so let's have his absolute classic. This is May You Never.